Oh my goodness. It just feels so wonderful to take a deep breath. My husband and toddler are out of the house at the park. I love them dearly, but definitely need some time to reset for the week ahead. For many people, if you look on, TikTok, Instagram, all those places, you see all these Sunday reset videos. That is just not me. I am not your uh, typical cleaning type person. But what I do like to do is to get my mind in order for the next week coming ahead. And the way I like to do that is through divination, creativity, and play. Few things inspired me to start doing these sessions. The first of which was the fabulous Jamie Sawyer. If you don't know who she is, I'm going to link some of her stuff down below. I've used her cards on this channel before. She is just a wonderful, wonderful human who did creative divination sessions for my membership, my Lenormand learners community, and she really inspired me to start breaking the rules a little bit more, having some fun, trying things out. The other thing that inspired this too is having a child, my daughter. She learns so much through play, and I thought, when's the last time I learned something through play? I used to play a lot more with my cards years ago, and I've gotten a little bit more rigid with it over time, and I wanted to have some fun with my cards again. And if you watch Miss Rachel, one of her things she always says is, it's okay to make mistakes. And that's one of the things that I wanted to embrace, is that we don't have to get stuck in the same rut all the time. We can have some fun, we can be playful, we can try new things. If you've been feeling stuck in a rut with your divination practice, whether you read Lenormand, tarot, or oracle cards, all of this is going to be for you. This is also for you if you just feel like you're kind of feeling a little confined by the rules of divination. And I get it. Lenormand has rules. Even tarot and oracle cards have rules, right? And I'm using air quotes because there are rules, but there also aren't, right? It's divination. You get to experiment and have fun. So this video is going to be for you if you're kind of feeling any of those things. If you're a total beginner, like you just got your deck yesterday, this video may not be for you. But if you're somebody who's even been experimenting for, I would say, a couple of months, totally gonna be up your alley. If you know me, you know I like to tell you exactly what is going to be inside this video, but with a session like this, I can't really do that because I don't know. I'm going to flow with whatever is surfacing for me in the moment. So you can decide to pull cards right along with me. You can ask the same exact questions I'm asking if you want to. You can use tarot, Lenormand, oracle, and whatever your card of choice is, you can use. I'm going to be blending probably some different types of card systems. And what else may come out of this too is some creative processing. So you're gonna have to stick around for that. I like to draw mandalas, so I might be showing you how to create some mandalas in that as well. And the other thing with this session too is just to kind of let the energy of it wash over you so that the next time you approach your cards, you can give something like this a shot and just kind of letting whatever comes into the picture come into the picture. You don't have to have a really planned out spread. You can just show up in your full presence and see what wants to emerge. So go ahead and grab some cards and join me in having some fun in this fun, playful, creative session together. So I already pulled my week ahead spread. This is something that is inside my membership, but I'll briefly tell you what it says. And it says that my marriage or relationship is going to come into focus this week. And It's saying that like the answer is through a lot of little fun moments is the sense I'm getting here. It's through the little things, it's through the day-to-day things that success in the marriage is going to come from. And I feel like my husband and I have had a lot of difficult times, not necessarily with each other, but more so in our own personal lives, just a lot happening. And we have found some really nice moments of frivolity and fun. And I feel like this is just kind of confirming, hey, have more of that, have some fun. Now, if you are in my membership, then you have access to the Week Ahead Spread workshop. I've thought about releasing it on its own. It would be like at a low price, probably, in the $20-$30 range. So if you're interested in that workshop, let me know below. If there's enough interest, I will release it on its own. Okay, now it's time for the fun, creative time. So I really want to know what lesson I'm supposed to be learning right now. I feel like there is so much going on. It's hard to find the center of what's happening. So I guess I actually have two questions. I want to know, what is the center of what's happening right now? What is the core? And this has been coming up in a lot of readings I've been doing with clients lately too, is what is the core? What is the center of what's happening? And my other question is, what lesson am I to be learning right now? And I'm using an oracle deck. Everything's going to be linked down below, all the decks that I used today. Okay. So let's see here. What is the center of what I am learning? Okay, friction. And what is the main lesson I am to be learning at this time? These two. Okay. Oh, compassion and forgiveness. Oh my goodness, those are big ones. Okay, so with the core, what is at the core? We have this friction card. And this makes a lot of sense of what continues to come up for me. So lately, with, if anyone here has kids, you know what I'm talking about. All the little frictions that happen day to day when they don't want to do something that, you need to do for them, like, I don't know, change a diaper or get them dressed or whatever, you name it, right? There's friction there, and it's all about how you handle the friction, how you perceive the friction. I'm in graduate school right now. This is coming up a lot in terms of what I'm learning about is how do we address these frictions? How do we perceive them, right? So that's coming up a lot. And then for the other message here of what lessons am I learning, we have compassion and forgiveness. And I think the compassion is such a big thing. So Rana George is my mentor, and she taught me about Ho'oponopono, which is the saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And I find that such a helpful phrase for compassion for myself and others. It really is a magic phrase. And then following that, forgiveness, and it's forgiving yourself and others around you. So this has been coming up a lot for me. These really track in my life right now. How do we handle the frictions that come our way? And just this video too even falls into that theme, because I was talking about it's okay to make mistakes, having that compassion, having that feeling of it's okay. Things don't have to be perfect, and I can forgive myself and others when they make mistakes. Okay, so I think I know how this is already showing up in my life, but kind of combining these three, because I really feel like they're all kind of getting at the same core message for me right now. I want to know how this is showing up in my life. This way I can pay more attention to it when it is showing up in my life. I love how these cards shuffle. I love hearing a sound like that. It's so satisfying to me. And this is Jamie Sawyer's deck, the Sawyer's Lenormand. It's a really great Lenormand deck. Highly recommend. Okay. So, how is this showing up in my life right now? Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. So we have the bouquet, and if you looked at my week ahead spread, this came up there too in the sense of these. I kind of see it, especially with the lilies, as the little moments. It's those little moments in time, those little points. And especially at home, I was just talking about my toddler, and also it's just maintaining a house, dealing with it, all the stressors that come with life, right? And also with the tower, I think about this as structures, the structures that we build. And so when I see how all of this is coming together, all these frictions, they're coming up in these little tiny moments. It's not these big dramatic events that are happening and unfolding. It's these little tiny moments that make up our life. And that's how it's coming up. So wow, this is really helpful already. I'm already feeling the awareness kind of seep through, and I'm feeling like, okay, this next upcoming week I'm going to focus on those little moments in time, and I'm going to look at how I interact with the friction. How am I perceiving it? Am I perceiving it as, why can't my toddler just hurry up? Or am I perceiving it as, oh, this is a little moment. This isn't going to be here very long. Pretty soon, she's not going to fuss at me when I'm giving her some food she doesn't like or something like that. So this next week, this is already helping me figure out, okay, I'm going to pay attention to the little moments, those little frictions that come up, and how I respond to those frictions. Can I give compassion to the people who are creating those frictions for me? Can I give compassion to myself? Can I perceive things in a different way? And this is also interesting because I received the perception card last week. So that's still kind of in my mind here. Okay, so time for some tarot into the mix. And I want to know what's going to be my biggest ally this upcoming week. I want to know what I can rely on, right? The Empress. When I see the Empress, I think about being nurtured. I think about being protected. I think about being cared for and loved. And the thing that I'm seeing here is that when I'm experiencing that friction, when I'm experiencing that, oh, they're not doing what I want them to do, there's almost a scarcity there. This card made me aware of that there's almost a scarcity there. Like if they don't do this, then I'm going to be late for something and that's going to cost me something or whatever, right? But this is saying, hey, you're safe, you're nurtured, you're protected. Remember that. How beautiful is that? This is really helping me come up with a mantra in those moments. You're safe, you're protected, you're cared for. And this is something that's divine, right? Nothing in this material world, these little frictions, they're not going to take that away. So it's important to remember that and what's behind that frustration when something comes up, what's behind wanting to rush through things. What's behind that is scarcity, right? And you can't have scarcity if you're nurtured, if you feel nurtured, if you feel protected. I love that. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm feeling comfortable with this and feeling like I got the message that I needed to get. But what I like to do to have it sink in, to let the message of this sink in, is to do something creative with this, right? Let me know if you've had that experience before in the comments. Have you experienced, drawing cards, having all these profound insights, but then just kind of feeling like you lose it, right? I know it's still there in your consciousness somewhere, but we kind of feel like we miss it. So what I like to do is to do something creative to really allow these messages to sink in. So I'm going to go ahead and draw some mandalas. As I mentioned before, I drew the perception card for this last week, and here's the mandala that I drew about the perception card. So I think I'm going to draw a similar one here, and I think I'm going to do it for these 3 up here. Just the concept of friction, compassion, forgiveness. It almost seems like this is a formula for how to handle those frictions in our lives. So I drew my mandala template here. And if you want a full tutorial on how to draw one, let me know, comment below. I want to give all the shapes breathing room. Now, I am not I know I'm saying I'm not an artist as I'm making art. I mean, we're really all artists. But when I say that I have never really drawn in my life, I mean it. Like, I can't even remember before I started drawing mandalas what I drew. So it was truly strange that this is something that I went to. I studied music and English in college, so I've always been a musician and a writer. And although I haven't been much into creating music lately, I have been writing a heck of a lot. So the fact that I reached for this is really interesting. And it's also something very sacred. The mandala is just a very sacred spiritual tool. And I find it pairs so well with absorbing what you learn in cartomancy. Okay, so I have my template now, and now I'm going to find some pens to draw everything in ink with. And sometimes I do really elaborate designs, and this time I'm feeling something just really simple. I'm feeling simple with lots of space in between things. And I feel like that is the message of this week too with the bouquet. It's about the simple little things. And as I am drawing the mandala, what I like to think about is the messages of the card. So I like to think about not only, what colors I'm going to use and what shapes I'm going to use, but I really try to absorb the feeling of the cards and capture that in the mandala. Now, as I mentioned, I am not what anyone would consider, I think, a stellar world-renowned artist here. But I'm not drawing this for other people, right? I'm drawing this for myself. I'm drawing this to give myself time to kind of meditate on the messages from the reading. And for many people, you may just be able to meditate. For me, meditation has never been relaxing for me. I've tried it so many times. I've been to meditation groups, and I can quiet my mind, but I find that the way that best does that is when I'm doing something with my hands. So this has been completely life-changing for me, and I absolutely adore drawing mandalas, and I love that there's just no expectation to make this something, so visually appealing. As I am entering into my mid-30s, I'm starting to figure out, it's okay if I'm not good at things. I can still do it anyway. What does good at it mean anyway, right? So as I am progressing through life, I'm realizing I can just do things because they're fun. What a bizarre concept. Now it's time to color her in. I decided to do this kind of messy thing here because love and compassion is very, very messy. It rarely fits within the bounds of things, and so I wanted to do something that would be a little bit messy and outside the bounds of this mandala here. And when I pick colors, I don't necessarily pick it based on the aesthetics of it, although sometimes it turns out really cool. I pick it based on what's going on here and the symbolism for me personally. So obviously pink, love, green is from the heart chakra. And I have this gray here as the Saturnian pieces of the world. To me, gray is the mundane, the things that need to get done, and how the hearts can kind of act as a buffer to those. And now I'm just going to put the finishing touches on here. And here is the, I was going to say final mandala, but that never ever sounds right with something like this that's just so ephemeral and creative. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know if you want more of these kind of free flow type videos. And if you do want to learn to do the week ahead spread, let me know and I can make that workshop available for purchase. Just let me know what your thoughts are on that. And as always, happy divining all.